Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news stream, and we've got lots and lots to talk about today. Of course, we're going to be talking about Ten Hag, Pochettino, because I'm actually getting fed up of saying the word Ten Hag and saying the word Poch, because every single day I have to write the word Ten Hag about 50 times down in my notes, 50 times down in the description, and every single title, the word Ten Hag and Poch, I literally so engraved in me, I can just type it and say it all the time. But of course, we are going to be talking about Ten Hag and Pochettino on the channel, of course. But we're actually also going to be talking about a very important point that's been raised by Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick's come out and spoken about how Manchester United could go about potential rebuild. Ralf Rangnick has his plans to obviously rebuild Manchester United, and news coming out that Manchester United would rather get a say from Darren Fletcher in the rebuild than Ralf Rangnick. And essentially, Man United are basically asking Darren Fletcher and ex-players who the next manager should be, but say Ralf Rangnick's not allowed to say in the next manager, which doesn't make sense when Ralf Rangnick's, got the CV and the ex-players, most of them got sacked from like any other job and they wouldn't be here if they weren't ex-players. But we will get into that later. We're going to talk about Wayne Rooney's comments. He's doing a good job at Derby, but Wayne Rooney's comments were, let's just say, some interesting ones. We're going to be talking about the board. We're going to be talking about the Glazers, James Garner, TCHOUMENI transfers that particularly ERIK Ten Hag would want, and ERIK Ten Hag's plan if he came to Manchester United, and all of that bish bash bosh. So please do, first of all, smash that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, I also do watch alongs and match reactions. Subscribe, you don't have to, but if that sounds like your thing, it is always appreciated. Steve says, man, you need to beat Everton regardless to make top four interesting, even though I don't think they'll get it. You know what, Steve, you're spot on. I don't think Manchester United will get it, but I think we do need to beat Everton to, keep things interesting. Now, first of all, Arsenal, they lost 3-0, lol, and Chelsea lost 4-1. And you know what? It would have been the perfect week if all we did is get 3 points versus Leicester. Because Arsenal losing, Chelsea losing, if we'd have got 3 points versus Leicester, I'd be thinking, you know what? Hang on it. Top four is looking like a real possibility. But you know what? What did we do? We didn't capitalise on it. We dropped points to Leicester, just like we've dropped points to Newcastle this season, just like we dropped points to Burnley this season, just like we've not even got a win in 2 games against the awful Watford. We made Watford look good. We're giving Watford most of the freaking points this season. I mean, United can't capitalise on small games. And the reason Arsenal were better than United this season is, although Arsenal, whenever they come against a good team, they never win. At least Arsenal can beat the shit teams. We just can't beat anyone at the moment. It's an absolute joke. But I am going to get into the news because very, very reliable sources said some very positive things regarding ERIK Ten Hag. Obviously, that being the ATLETIC, and about how it's likely. However, there are reports that the Glazers will have the final say. Now, the situation I've been told is the United board and Ralf Rangnick have chosen Ten Hag. However, the Glazers, Darren Fletcher and Mercer get the final say. So, ironically, the Glazers and an ex-player get the final say on who our next manager is, but we've chosen Ten Hag. So if we get Poch, it's because the Glazers and Darren Fletcher want Poch. Now, I want to say, first of all, I don't get why every single ex-Man United player wants Pochettino. PSG, they're letting us interview Pochettino. If PSG value Pochettino, they wouldn't be letting us get anywhere near him. I think the fact that PSG want Pochettino gone says it all about Mauricio Pochettino. Like, honestly, I mean, like, PSG don't want him. No other clubs are looking at him. If you look at ERIK Ten Hag, Dortmund inquired about ERIK Ten Hag. ERIK Ten Hag rejected Dortmund. Manchester United want ERIK Ten Hag, but Real Madrid are interested in ERIK Ten Hag. Man City will be looking at ERIK Ten Hag as a pet replacement. Look at Man City, look at Real Madrid, look at Borussia Dortmund. Are they more successful than Man United in recent years? Yes. Are they run better than Man United? Yes. Who are they looking at? Ten Hag, not Poch. Cannot understand still to this day what is this Poch obsession and all of that. Fletcher needs to go. Board is a joke. Absolutely spot on there, Charlie. Now, this isn't a Darren Fletcher attack. I like Darren Fletcher. He's a decent guy, but he should not be in that role at Man United. What does Darren Fletcher do? Ralf Rangnick was asked what Darren Fletcher's role is, and he said, well, I'm not really sure, really. He's a bit on the pitch and he's a bit off the pitch. Darren Fletcher just does a bit of this and that at Man United. No one knows what his role is. And at the end of the day, I like Darren Fletcher, but he should not be in a role which is part of our rebuild. When Man United are having the most serious rebuild in 10 years, when Man United had so many failed rebuilds and we need this next rebuild to desperately work, Darren Fletcher should not be involved at the top of choosing who does the Man United rebuild when he's got no real qualifications. You know, Ralf Rangnick's worked his way up through multiple clubs. Paul Mitchell, you know, actually people that work their way up through multiple clubs. I don't think we should be employing people that are bankers or people that are club legends to be part of a rebuild when actually they don't have the CV. You know, you look at Amazon, you look at Jeff Bezos, you know, is Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos wants to give someone, you know, the second highest role in his company. Is he going to go to give the job to someone that's done really well at loads of other companies, maybe work with like other big companies, and he's like, well, I know you've done good wonders with other big companies, I'm going to give you this important role at my company? Or is Jeff Bezos going to go, oh, but this guy was an Amazon delivery driver in his day, he was a very good Amazon delivery driver in his day, I'm going to give my loyalty to someone that has no experience in anything higher up than delivery driver to be like a director of Amazon? No, he's freaking not. So why are Man United going, well, Darren Fletcher's a decent player, let's give him a high up role? No, Ralf Rangnick's very, very experienced, but you know what? Let's ignore him. No, Ralf Rangnick, sorry, we're going to push you to the side. We're not that interested in your input and who the next manager is. You just work on the season. You just work on the season, Ralf Rangnick. Pat your head, pop an in down, pipe down, Ralph. It's an absolute embarrassment. It's an absolute embarrassment, like the way we are treating and disrespecting Ralf Rangnick, the man that discovered Firmino, Mane, Keita, Mukelele, Upamecano, fucking Konaté, Kimmich, Haaland, to name a few, and discovered them for very, very cheap at very, very young ages and brought them to good German clubs. He was part of the big uprise of the RB clubs. You know, you look at RB Leipzig and they were a nothing team a few years ago and they rose quite quickly, and Ralf Rangnick was a massive part of that rebuild and recruitment. You know, he's got the CV, he's done this wonders, and United have come out and said, well, actually, we're not really interested in giving Ralf Rangnick a role on the board, actually. I think we just like him as a bit of an advisor here, there. And I just think, seriously, Man United, like, you're not a bit embarrassed? Like, how can you be blatantly disrespecting someone like Ralf Rangnick like that? I absolutely don't get it. Now, I am going to get into the news and all of that, so do make sure you smash a like on the video if you have not already as well. And honestly, Man United are just absolutely annoying me. I can see what a lot of you are saying in the chat. I can see what Andrew's saying in the chat. The boards using Ralf as a scapegoat, and honestly, Andrew says, we've heard the Glazers need to sign off things many times of the year, usually ends up with a deal falling apart, hopefully not the case of Ten Hag. And look, we're in a situation where the club has essentially chosen Ten Hag, but the Glazers, Joel Glazer has the final say. It's up to Joel Glazer whether we get Ten Hag or not. We've essentially chosen him. He is the favourite, but Joel Glazer might want Poch. I like Ralf, but he was destined to fail, was given no backing or authority. And you know what, Andrew, I think you're spot on. I really do like Ralf Rangnick, but to do a short-term job at Manchester United, a club that is embarrassingly a massive mess right now, I actually do feel like Ralf Rangnick was almost destined to fail in this job, which is a shame because when we appointed him, I got really, really excited, and it's just the situation that it is. Neil says we are a joke of a club. We absolutely are, and look, I'm going to get into the Ten Hag news and what's been said, but supporting Man United right now is just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. The way we run, the lack of respect. Ralf Rangnick said spot on what we need to do in terms of a rebuild. The question is, will Man United do it? Now, what's come out, and Fabrizio Romano tweeted some report on Manchester United today, and Romano confirmed that Ten Hag's already thinking about Manchester United, but he also knows Poch is in the race. Fabrizio Romano also said that ERIK Ten Hag is well informed on everything about the club, like potential budget, like signings, like what they do. He's already thinking about Manchester United. So basically, it's been said that Ten Hag knows about Man United's budget. He's spoken to Man United and he's actually thinking and prepping about Man United. And I think Ten Hag, knowing roughly what budget he would get, discussing with Man United what he would get, it's been reported that Ten Hag actually looking at the budget he'd get at Man United and planning who he'd sell and who he'd buy, and actually making proper preparation for the job, despite knowing that Pochettino is also in the race as well. Now, that has come from Tier 1 journalist Fabrizio Romano. Andy Mitten, good journalist, confirmed that Richard Arnold has now become involved in discussions and meetings around Ten Hag and Mauricio Pochettino. Both would like to manage United. Andy Mitten's confirmed that both Ten Hag and Poch would be keen to manage United. And this is what Andy Mitten said that really annoyed me. He said that Richard Arnold will be primarily guided by John Murtagh and Darren Fletcher from a football perspective, and has now become involved in discussions and meetings around ERIK, Ten Hag and Mauricio Pochettino. I just think... So Richard Arnold is the guy that makes the final decision, and he's going to go and listen to Murtagh and Darren Fletcher when it comes to making the final decision, rather than Ralf Rangnick. And for me, that just it kind of confuses me a bit. I'm going, look, you know what? Really? Like, you know, Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh, they had one decent chance to the winner, but what have they proved to be listened to? What have Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh done that maybe you could say Ralf Rangnick hasn't? That is also my question. So I just look at that and I go, United are absolutely frustrating me at the moment. United are absolutely frustrating me. I've honestly, I won't lie, like I have had it to hear with Manchester United. Just get this deal done, get it sorted. I can't understand how this deal is taking so long. Let me just throw it back. You know, we've been hearing Poch this, Ten Hag this for 6 weeks at Manchester United. Poch this, Ten Hag this, Poch this, Ten Hag this. It's been 6 weeks of Poch this, Ten Hag this, and we haven't made a decision. For 6 weeks, we've been getting Man United are going to make their decision soon. Man United are going to make their decision soon. Ten Hag's been interviewed. Man United are going to make the decision soon. Ten Hag's the favourite. Man United are going to make the decision soon. And you know what? I'm absolutely fed up of it. How many more weeks are we going to hear, oh, decision will be made soon. We like Poch, we like Ten Hag, but Ten Hag's the favourite. How many more weeks of Man United will make a decision soon? Because I'm absolutely... when it comes to this new manager situation, I'm going, fucking hell, we should have had this done by now. We should have had this done by now. And the one big fear about United waiting for the next manager is, a part of me is almost sitting here like, are we actually waiting for Poch? Are Man United almost sitting here waiting for Poch? Because Ten Hag is available. Ten Hag's been interviewed 3 weeks ago. And we've showed no real interest in pursuing Ten Hag. You know, we know he's the favourite. Ten Hag's had a second interview. But, you know, it's been nearly a month since we've entered talks with Ten Hag and interviewed Ten Hag, and nothing's been done. And is it like we're just using Ten Hag while we wait for Poch? Because obviously news has come out in the last week that PSG will not make Man United pay a full 12 million compensation fee for Poch. PSG are more than happy to let United get Poch on the cheap, which would absolutely suggest that PSG don't want Poch, and PSG are trying to get rid of Poch. And I just sit here and I go, this is absolutely embarrassing. Like, it's just, I'm just embarrassed that we've been sat here for 6 weeks. 6 weeks waiting for our next manager. Could be this manager, could be that manager, and we still don't know. Now, Jamie Jackson, a decent journalist, has said, although Manchester United are considering other managerial candidates, it's understood that Ten Hag is impressed and is currently leading the race to take over as next manager. Another journalist confirming Ten Hag will take over most likely as next manager. But this is the news article that came out that I think will be quite interesting and of interest to some of you guys, which is actually that Steve McLaren is under consideration for the Old Trafford job as Erik Ten Hag's number 2, should the Dutchman be appointed as Man United's next manager. So Man United have got this obsession with Premier League experience, and our excuse for not getting Ten Hag and our excuse for not going for Ten Hag right now is they're concerned about Ten Hag because he doesn't have Premier League experience. So United have gone to Ten Hag, well, we get someone that's got Premier League experience, and that would be Steve McLaren. Now, look, was Steve McLaren a good manager? No. Is he been all right as an assistant? Yes. Do I have a massive issue with Steve McLaren? No. The thing that frustrates me regarding Steve McLaren is, why are we so obsessed with Premier League experience? Why can't we let Ten Hag bring in who he wants as his assistant, not some guy that you're going to make him get because this guy's worked in the Premier League? I just sit there and I go, isn't that a little bit embarrassing for the Glazers, surely? I mean, as well. But that came out that Ten Hag and McLaren could be coming to Manchester United. And then James Duckett of The Telegraph did confirm that Manchester United are expected to conduct a final round of interview with Erik Ten Hag and Mauricio Pochettino before making their final decision on the permanent manager role. So for 6 weeks, we've had Poch, Ten Hag this. We've had Poch this, Ten Hag this for 6 whole weeks at Manchester United. And James Duckett is issuing that this decision is going to come to an end in the next week. A lot of journalists are suggesting that we're actually finally in the final stages choosing our next manager, and that the decision is going to be made in the next week. And I tell you this now, Man United, hurry up and make your fucking manager decision. Because I am fed up here saying, well, this manager said this about Ten Hag, this journalist said this about Ten Hag, this journalist said this about Ten Hag. I just want to know for real, is it Ten Hag, or are you clickbaiting the media to make us think it's Ten Hag to spare an outrage? Because we've been 6-7 weeks Poch this Ten Hag this. It's been said that this is the final this is the final stages of Manchester United choosing their next manager. They're going to choose this week who the next manager is going to be. All right, Manchester United, go and choose the next manager this week, and please do not disappoint us. Please do not disappoint us. Paul says that he's turning into a skeleton waiting for our next manager, honestly. And so you'd said, love your content, Aruju and Timber. Rumours, are they true? Timber, yes. The other guy, I know he's staying as well. And it's just embarrassing. What is left for the board to discuss with the other candidates is pure spin. And this is, yeah, Andrew, you're right. This is the thing that is concerning me from a Manchester United perspective. You know, we've spoken to ERIK Ten Hag 3 weeks ago. We've had the conversations with ERIK Ten Hag. What more? Like, why does it take 3-4 weeks of conversations to choose a manager? What more is there to talk about with Ten Hag and Pochettino when we've been told from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United has spoken to Ten Hag about budget, rebuild plan, and all of that? Like, what more is there for us to go and talk to them about? Not much more. I believe that all this news about Ten Hag this and that, I almost believe it's PR spin, and that worries me because I feel like are Man United just inevitably waiting for Poch? You know, are we keeping Ten Hag in there for PR? Are we keeping Ten Hag in there to keep the social media fans happy while we just wait for Poch? Because every single week that develops is a more positive week for Poch, because this week it's developed that actually PSG will charge us the same compensation rate as AJAX will charge us for Ten Hag for Poch and all of that. And it absolutely baffles me because I just think you can't take this long to make a decision. But they're saying that the decision will be made this week. Laurie Whitwell. Now, Laurie Whitwell is a tier 1 journalist, a really, really good journalist. And Laurie Whitwell said that PSG's stance of not wishing to lose face over Mauricio Pochettino seems to have softened, with sources believing that a deal could be done with Manchester United if they head that way. United now accept that Luis Enrique is out on this occasion. So Laurie Whitwell has confirmed that we will not be going for Luis Enrique. Laurie Whitwell's confirmed it's Ten Hag or Poch. But what Laurie Whitwell, and he is a tier 1 journalist, has come out and said today is he's basically said that, United, could go for Poch, because PSG originally were a bit like, no, we're not letting you have Poch. We're not going to lose face over Poch. PSG were quite like, no, you can't have Poch. Go away. Whereas now PSG are a bit more open to United having Poch and all of that, and they're lowering their fee and all of that. And it's just like, it just seems, if I'm going to be real with you, it just seems that PSG cannot wait to get rid of Pochettino. It just seems that PSG are like, let's get rid. And I think from a United perspective, that's just embarrassing as well. Neil Phelan just stands there and with his arms folded in the shorts. I don't know what Phelan does at United. Make sure you smash a like if you just want people gone from Manchester United. Favourite Man U player of all time would say Paul Scholes. I'd agree on that. He's a really good one as well. But look, back to the topic. I mean, why are PSG trying to get rid of Poch? Because he's not that good of a manager. If we're trying to get a manager that their club's desperate to get rid of, that's a bit embarrassing when there's one manager that everyone wants in Europe, that Ajax want to keep, and there's another manager that no one wants, none of the fans want, that PSG aren't interested in keeping. But Manchester United are almost going, oh, let's go for the manager that PSG aren't interested in keeping. Like, United, are you thick? Are you stupid? I don't get it. Laurie Whitwell also said that Erik Ten Hag is believed to be pulling the most support in terms of a permanent managerial appointment, and the situation is described as advanced. So tier 1 journalist Laurie Whitwell works for Athletic, a very, very good journalist, did say that Ten Hag is believed to be pulling the most support regarding being permanent manager, and the situation with Ten Hag is advanced. That there's also proposed compensation package with Erik Ten Hag, which is described as, being on a similar level to those at Poch. And the Athletic also said that the club are attuned to the benefits of a new manager, of having the fan base on side. Now, this is the story that looks really good for Ten Hag, and this is the story that I was particularly interested on. The Athletic said that Manchester United are attuned to the benefits of the new manager having, the fan base on side. Laurie Whitwell, tier 1 journalist, Athletic, really, really reliable source, suggesting that Manchester United would want a manager that's, that the fans support. Because I do feel, though, if Manchester United got Poch, of course I'd support Poch. He's our manager. What can I do? Look, if United got Poch, I'd want him to succeed. I'd want him to prove me wrong. Of course, I would support Pochettino. But the majority of the Manchester United fan base want ERIK ten Hag. I did a poll in my video the other week, and I asked you guys, would you want ten Hag or Poch? And 86% of you said ten Hag. 14% of you said Poch. So quite a few of the Man United fan base want ten Hag. And the Athletic are saying that Manchester United are thinking they would benefit best off getting a manager that the fans want. Now, if they get ten Hag, they don't benefit. They don't get that little bit of fan camaraderie and all of that. And when the Glazers are on edge with the fans, despite everything that's happened, the Glazers are very on edge with the Manchester United fans. You know, the Super Leagues absolutely made their relationship with us even worse. You know, maybe the Glazers would want to not completely lose the fans, because I do feel, though, although I'm not anti-Poch, and I you know, if we did get Poch, I would support him. I do feel like if Manchester United did get Poch, it could start another outrage. It could start another annoyed section, which is not what Manchester United want at all in the slightest. Guys, please do smash that like button if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more. Ten Hag won't be as soft on players like Ollie was. And look, let's talk about Ollie. Is Man United in the situation it's in because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Do you guys think that? Let me know down below. Like, do you think Ollie has an impact to play that we're in the situation we're in? Because I do think, okay, if I look at players that have improved under Ollie, no players really stood out to me as improving under Ollie. You know, Ollie was continually playing the same players. You know, Marcus Rashford really dropped off about Ollie, which I think is because Ollie overplayed him. If you want my honest opinion, it's. You know, I just wanted your thoughts on that. Savage says both Poch and ten Hag will be better than Ralf Rangnick. I understand the frustration with Poch, as everybody wants ten Hag, but anything is better than the present state. I agree, but I disagree at the same time. I think if we get Poch, he's a better manager than Rangnick. But if we get Poch, it sends a bad message, because if United get Poch, that means that we've ignored the footballing people and listened to the bankers again. And it's not just the fact that we would have 10 Hags available when we got Poch. It's the fact that I know if Manchester United get Poch, they've completely ignored the input of Rangnick and all the footballing people at the club. You know, if we get Poch, it says that this club is going to be run the same way for the next 10 years. Because if we are ignoring footballing people over the next manager, we're going to ignore footballing people to make decisions over everything. And if the bankers and all of those people are still making decisions at Manchester United, then yeah, I've got multiple reasons to be worried as well. I think any coach at the end will be like, I give up. Honestly, if I was Ralf Rangnick, I'd give up. But obviously, he can't in that kind of job. But I'd hate to do that job if I was Ralf Rangnick. And Eugene says, Ollie was here for 3 years. He's got to take a fair share of the blame. And I agree. And the reason I agree that Ollie has to take a fair share of the blame is I think Ollie's favouritism actually was the start of dressing room divides. I think Ollie being too nice and lack of discipline on the player caused him to get lazy. I think Ollie caused a lot of attitude problems, constantly defending the players, constantly making the perfect players sound as if they're perfect. I think Ollie did cause a lot of attitude problems. And just like my final problem with Ollie was just the overplaying of Rashford. I feel like he's the reason Rashford got injured, the lack of unsustainable football. I think you can blame Ollie. Ollie was more of a mate to these players, exactly, and Ollie probably should have been sacked 2 months earlier. So, Stephen, you know what? I agree with that. And I think most of these players want a soft manager. And you know what? If I was going to guess which players wanted Ten Hag and which players wanted, what's his name? Ten Hag, Poch. If I was going to guess which managers wanted Ten Hag and which managers wanted Poch, I guarantee you Scott McTominay's a Poch guy. I guarantee you that Harry Maguire's a Poch guy. I guarantee you that Wan-Bissaka's a Poch guy. I guarantee you most of the other ones will be Ten Hag. I'll be very, very shocked if it was 50-50 split between the two. Just taking a quick drink of water there just to stay a little bit energized. Shakri says Glazers can frustrate the fans. They're getting better at that. Honestly, guys, if you hate the Glazers, if you want the Glazers out of this club, make sure you do hit that like button, because the Glazers seriously make me lose the will to live. I cannot stand the Glazers, and if you agree with me, smash the mob or fucking like button. But getting back into the video, getting back into the topics, getting back into discussion. Maguire, a Poch guy. Andrew said the board is to blame as well. It's toxic, keeping players who want to leave and they hold on to everyone's too long. And Andrew, you're absolutely spot on. Like, the problem with Man United is not only problems with player powers and issues, but what do you think has caused this problem? Players that don't want to be here, that think they should be playing, that are not playing. And this is why I think Ollie is partly to blame for the dressing room issues, because Ollie was playing the same favouritisms, the same players week in, week out. And a lot of those players on current form didn't deserve to start for Manchester United. And we were telling Eric Bailly to sign a new contract and that we'd play, and we never did. We're telling Donny that we're going to play, and we never did. You know, if you look at Donny, you look at Eric Bailly, you look at Anthony Martial, they were 3 players that were potentially causing dressing room problems in their last season at Manchester United because they were getting frustrated that they weren't playing, you know, at all, you know, and that's partly to blame. You know, if we're not playing players and then we're giving players that we don't play new contracts and telling them we're going to play them and end up not playing them, but it's not like we've given Bailly a chance. You know, Bailly's had a few games here and now, and we're saying, look, we're not playing you, and it's not like he's been bad. We just decided to not playing him. That's one of the reasons United got dressing room issues at the club. That's one of the main reasons we have dressing room issues at the club, because we seem to just play people because we like them, and we seem to not play people, and we say, well, even though we've not played this player for a while, we're like, you know what, you have a new contract. You have a new contract, and I absolutely don't get it. I don't get it. If you're not interested in a player, if you're not going to play a player, we shouldn't be giving them a new contract. And I like Bruno Fernandes. He's one of my favourite United players. I do not think Bruno Fernandes is washed. I do rate Bruno Fernandes, unlike other Manchester United players. But if we're going to get Ten Hag or Poch coming in the next month, why give Bruno a new contract? Now, I know Bruno's a fantastic player and that he's most likely going to be highly involved under Ten Hag and Pochettino. But what I'm saying is, you know, there's no point giving him a new contract when the next manager can just wait 3 weeks to do that. Paul says favourites FC. Manchester United are favourites FC. It's actually embarrassing. You know, we reward the favourite players for basically being mediocre, and I think that is really, really embarrassing from a Manchester United perspective. Green and gold to the club is sold. Alice says no. Yes, guys, green and gold to the club is sold. If you agree, make sure you smash that like button. But I've got another story that I want to get into, and this is the story that I'm actually quite interested to get into, which is a little bit of a transfer news story and leak story and Ralf Rangnick talking facts. So Ralf Rangnick came out yesterday and said some stuff about Manchester United. Rangnick says that it has to be done. He was talking about a rebuild. Now, Rangnick, when talking about the rebuild at Manchester United, said that a rebuild needs to happen at Manchester United. And if a rebuild does happen at Manchester United, it's not necessary to need 3 or 4 years, maybe 2 or 3 transfer windows, then the situation could be different. Rangnick is spot on. He's saying United keeps selling out that every single rebuild we do is going to take 3-4 years. A Man United rebuild isn't going to take 3-4 years. It took 3-4 months for Barcelona. The only reason a rebuild is even close to taking 3-4 years for Manchester United is because our Glazers and our owners are too slow to do anything and don't want to do anything and don't want to spend a certain amount of money over a period of time, which means that we can only have 1 rebuild, then 2 summer transfer windows that are shit, then another rebuild, then 2 summer transfer windows that are shit. Now, Ralf Rangnick said that it takes the right decisions and clarity over where you want to go, what kind of players you want, what kind of manager, and you know, in every transfer window you've got to try and get the best players possible. Like, you know, it's like rocket science. You know, and Rangnick said that the team does not like technical players, it likes physical players. And Rangnick also said regarding Manchester United, whenever the new head coach comes in, it has to be how does he want to play and what kind of players do we need for that. Then we come back a DNA, speed, physical, tempo, that all we need. So Ralf Rangnick's basically come out and said, you know, Man United do not need 3-4 years to do a rebuild. We maybe need 3 or 4 transfer windows, give them a few players in each transfer window, look at the team, assess. But actually, you know, when you're giving them players in the transfer window, go, what kind of players will this manager use? Okay, this manager's going to use these kind of players. Bish, bash, bosh, we're going to get these kind of players. That's what we need to do in the rebuild. Maguire should not be playing at this level. Look, I don't think Maguire's that bad of a centre-back. I still think he's Premier League level centre-back, but I don't think Maguire's the Manchester United level centre-back. And I'll absolutely stick with that. Ralf Rangnick again spoke out about the rebuild, and Ralf Rangnick said that both Manchester City and Liverpool are the 2 teams in England that are built and recruited over the last 5 or 6 years. All of them under the premises of how the coaches want to play. And I told the board this is what has to happen. And Ralf Rangnick's come out and Ralf Rangnick's confirmed to us publicly that Ralf Rangnick actually spoken to the board and told the board exactly what needs to happen, exactly what they need to do. You know, we'll buy a manager, then we won't buy the players the manager wants. Liverpool and Chelsea, the 2 best teams in England right now. Liverpool and Chelsea, the 2 teams that absolutely are untouchable right now. You know, they were the teams that actually they told their Ralf Rangnick at their club, they told their assistant coach who they wanted, you know, and they got who they wanted. They didn't go, oh, well, you want to write about, Wan-Bissaka 50 million. And Oli might be like, well, I didn't really want Wan-Bissaka, it was my first choice. And then that is when United get in issues. Rangnick also said that it takes, this was an interesting comment for Rangnick. He said it takes the right decisions to go where you want to go and what kind of players, what kind of manager you need in every transfer window to try and get it better. And again, I think that he's absolutely spot on here, Ralf Rangnick. Again, he's saying it doesn't really matter, you know. I've just fallen asleep in my head there. I don't know why, but I don't know why. It's Tuesdays. Tuesdays always makes me tired. But Ralf Rangnick said it takes the right decisions and where you want to go, what kind of players, what kind of manager, and every transfer window to try and get the best. And Ralf Rangnick's basically come out and said, you know, not only do Man United need 2 or 3 transfer windows, not only do Manchester United need to look at what Man City and Liverpool have done and recruit for them and recruit for the manager, but United have got to, you know, get the best out of every transfer window. And that for United to get the best out of every transfer window, that would be literally saying to our next manager, name me 5 players you want and I'll get them. Unfortunately, United won't do that. Rangnick said this is possible, this is not rocket science, it has been done and it has happened. It does not necessarily need to repeat 3 or 4 years, maybe 2 or 3 transfer windows, and the situation could be different. And Ralf Rangnick is spot on, because guys, what was I saying on my live stream yesterday? I said on my live stream yesterday, I'm absolutely fed up with this cycle of Manchester United. Starts to go well, goes to shit, rebuild. Yeah, rebuild, starts to go well, goes to shit, rebuild. Rebuild, starts to go well, then goes to shit, rebuild. I'm absolutely fed up with this, rebuild that circle at Manchester United. And Ralf Rangnick said, this is not rocket science. It's been done by so many teams in only 2 or 3 transfer windows. The situation could be different. Ralf Rangnick's basically come out and said regarding Manchester United, if the Glazers would listen to him, if they, you know, they would actually back the manager, if they would actually back the manager over 3-4 years, Man United's situation could be different. And Ralf Rangnick's spot on. Ralf Rangnick's absolutely spot on, because as a Man United fan, I know, you know, to listen to Ralf Rangnick. I would rather listen to Ralf Rangnick than Darren Fletcher as a Man United fan. The way Ralf Rangnick talks, the academia, the CV Ralf Rangnick has. Ralf Rangnick is not fit. He knows a rebuild only takes 2 seasons max. Backing them in all the summer transfer winners. That's what a rebuild takes, and Ralf Rangnick knows that, and that's what he wants to do. Which is exactly why the board will ignore Ralf Rangnick, because Ralf Rangnick wants to have a smart, approachable rebuild, which is just, for me, exactly why he's absolutely just going to go and get ignored, which is an absolute joke. I am knackered, I won't lie. And Andrew says, going to crap and rebuild costs way more in the end. Put a suitable project, a stable project in place, and we'd be way more sustainable. Absolutely spot on. And Rangnick said it himself. I've said this before, and now Rangnick's saying it. If Man United got one manager in, and that manager's Ten Hag, and we just completely backed Ten Hag, we brought him whoever we wanted, we stole him whoever we wanted, and we fully gave Ten Hag the backing, I don't think we'd be here in 2 years' time when it's under rebuild. I think I could be sitting here in 2 years' time saying Poch is sacked and it's time for another rebuild. I don't think we'd be doing that with Ralf Rangnick if we absolutely backed him. No, I think maybe if you back Poch, you get a player out of Poch. But what I am trying to say about Manchester United, it doesn't matter who the next manager is, because we keep repeating this cycle. This is rebuild number 4. And why do Man United keep repeating this cycle? Because the people upstairs haven't changed. A lot of our attitudes have not changed. And that is why, essentially, it's just all not going well for United at the moment whatsoever. You know, long term, we are fucked. Like, long term, we are absolutely fucked if we keep going through this rebuild cycle. I'd sacrifice Europe for 1 year and build a title-winning side. Get rid of all the players that are deadwood. I don't care how thin the squad is, and bring in the players that we need, and all of that. And literally, I just wanna say, I beg that we get Ten Hag. I've had enough of Poch this. I've had enough of Poch that. I absolutely beg that we get Ten Hag. If you want to see Ten Hag at Manchester United, please do go smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new. If you want to see Ten Hag, you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Bish, bash, bosh. You know what? I absolutely completely forgot it's the Champions League tonight. Yeah, this is being a Man United fan. This is being a Man United fan, guys. I'm switching off. I'm falling asleep. I've just realised it's the Champions League tonight. We've been knocked out of the Champions League. I'm like, oh shit. Liverpool are playing Benfica and Man City are playing Atletico Madrid tonight. And I just realised this now. Man United, what are you doing to me? I'm so distracted in the mess that this club is. I forget that the Champions League exists because we haven't got past a fucking quarter final in so long. I can't remember the last time we got past a quarter final. The last quarter final we were at was with Oli at Barcelona, but I can't remember the last time we won a quarter final. I mean, this is the state of United. The Champions League's on tonight, and I just realised that now. That is embarrassing. Do you know, when I was growing up, every Tuesday, Wednesday, I knew it was Champions League. Do you know why I knew it was Champions League? Because I knew United was going to be in it. I absolutely knew Man United was going to beat it. Now I forget about the Champions League's on tonight because guess what? Surprise, surprise, Man United might not be bloody playing in it. Honestly, David says we need to sell a load of players during the rebuild. Players will be leaving for a lower price than we paid. 50 million for Fred. He's worth 25 million. You know what we're going to do? Let's work out the price of every single player that we can sell. And this isn't realistic. I'm not saying that Man United are going to sell these players, but actually, let's go and work out the price of every single player Manchester United could sell and how much money we could raise and how much money we would make as a loss. I think that would be really, really interesting. So first of all, guys, before I do that, make sure you smash a like on the video if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, please do press that subscribe button. I am 50 subscribers away from 31.5k. I'd love to hit 31.5k by the end of the week. So make sure you're subscribed. So hopefully we can hit that target of 31.5k. But what I'm going to show you is essentially what Manchester United could maybe do in a rebuild, how much money we can make. So I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys here. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So I've done this before. I've gone through the players and all of that. But how much money will United get? Now, we have to sell one of the keepers. I think we could get 20 million for Dean Henderson. I think last season we could have got 30 or 40 million for Dean Henderson, but his value has gone down sitting on the bench. So let's say we can get 20 million for Dean Henderson. Eric Bailly signed a new 5-year deal, but he's barely played. Let's say we can get 15 million for Eric Bailly. So that's 20 million for Henderson, 15 million for Eric Bailly. That's 35 million. I think we can get 25 million for Harry Maguire. That's 40, that's 60 million raised. I think we could get 10 million for Tellez if we wanted, but I'm not that bothered about Tellez. That's 60 million. I still think we could get, I think we could only get about 10, 15 million for Wan-Bissaka. I think we get about 15 million for Wan-Bissaka, considering we paid 50 million. 15 million for Wan-Bissaka is awful, but that's 75 million if we sell Wan-Bissaka. Okay, Paul Popper goes for nothing. Fred I keep, Bruno I keep, Matic goes for nothing. Scott McTominay, we could probably maybe get 15, 20 million from, I'd say 20 million. Scott McTominay's 20 million. That's 90 million in funds raised. Lingard goes on a free. Mata goes on a free. Cavani goes on a free. Rashford, we could probably still get 50 million for. Well, so we could say 140 million. This isn't realistic. I'm just going through. You know, and all the other guys aren't sellable as well. So maybe if we sell our deadwood, because, you know, although we've got loads of deadwood, United could maybe raise around £100 million if they potentially sold a lot of their deadwood. However, like, we're not going to get that much money. We're not going to sell players. Like, if I'm going to be realistic, I'm going to name the players I think will leave Man United. Being 100% realistic, I think Dean Henderson will go. I think Jones will go. I think Pogba will go. I think Matic and Mata will go. I think that Cavani will go. I don't think Greenwood will come back. And I also think that Ronaldo will go. They're the players I realistically think will go. Sancho, 70 million. We could probably get 70 million if we sold Sancho, but we don't need to sell Sancho. And look at the money this ball threw away on Dean and Jesse last summer, says Andrew. And this, I said this, if you watched me in the summer, I said this so many times. I said, we need a CDM. We could get 30 million for Dean Henderson, and West Ham have offered us 20 million for Jesse Lingard. We could have got 50 million combined for Dean Henderson and Jesse Lingard in the summer. Have we used Jesse Lingard? No. Have we used Dean Henderson? No. What's happened to them? Their values have gone down. We kept them because we didn't want to sell them. We didn't use them. We could have got 50 million for them in the summer. 50 million would have got us Ruben Neves. 50 million would have got us Basuma. 50 million would have got us Chouameni. Instead, we kept the deadwood players that we didn't want to play, and we neglected signing a CDM because we are a commercial club. We thought, you know what? I like Ronaldo. I'm happy we signed Ronaldo, but the motivation behind signing Ronaldo was boom, boom, boom. Ronaldo signs shirts. Let's sign Ronaldo because we'll be in a really, really good position. We'll get these shirt sales. Bish, bash, bosh. Nah, you're embarrassing. Embarrassing. Honestly, this club, man. Just, Ronaldo this. Oh, we should have signed a CDM. I'm sorry, we should have signed a CDM. Sancho can be really useful if coached properly. And this is my fear with Jadon Sancho. If United get Poch and we continue to stay the way we are and Sancho has to play in a negative system with shit coaching, then he's just not going to become the player that we spent 70 million for him to become. I just saw a comment that I've missed. I think Varane will go, and this might surprise you. I don't think Varane will leave. I think Varane regrets coming here. He's thinking, fucking hell, this club's a mess. But I don't think Varane will leave. Honestly. If United ain't cleaning the house, they won't win anything. Sell the Prats. I mean, Man United, look, this is the thing as well. United players are sitting there complaining, about the coaches. There's Man United players out there. They're going, "Oh, the coaching at this club's not good enough. I'm not going to try because the coaching isn't good enough." What do you mean you're not going to try because the coaching's not good enough? I mean, like, do you think you're all good enough for Man United? The fact that Man United have not won a trophy in the last 5 years sums it all up. We've not won a trophy in the last 5 years, and our players are complaining about coaches. I actually think some of our players just might not be good enough. Some of our players, you know what? They might not be good enough because you know what? We've won nothing in the last 5 years. And we have to witness these fans and players moaning FC, complaining FC. It's absolutely infuriating when we have won nothing. Soddle, Effel, nothing in the last 5 years. Nothing. And our players come out and complain. Oh, the coaches are bad. You have won nothing. Sit down. Who are you? That is honestly how I feel. Who are you? We have won nothing. Please calm down. I've had it to here with United. I've absolutely had it to here with United. This club, it just annoys me. Like talking about United annoys me. Also, Pogba, look at the money we've lost. We could have sold him a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, Pogba's been barely any use these last 2 seasons. Would you keep Ronaldo? I'd keep Ronaldo for another season. We'd be absolutely fucked without him. Pogba's now leaving. Yeah, Pogba is now leaving Manchester United. Do you want me to read out the Pogba news? Let me read out the Pogba news. Let me read out the transfer news because you know what? I've got loads of transfer news written down that I haven't read out. So, Mike Vey, a very, very reliable journalist, said that Manchester United want to give the new manager time and make sure whoever gets the new manager job at Manchester United will get at least 2 to 3 transfer windows where they'll be completely backed to compete again. During talks, it was said that time was needed. That came out from Mike Vey. Now, the Daily Mail said that Manchester United are interested in signing Uran Tchouameni in the summer. He's high on the list with Paul Pogba to depart. So, Diego's also asked me about Wayne Rooney's TV interview. I will answer that, Diego, in a second. You might have to remind me again. But Manchester United interested in Tchouameni. Brilliant. Boom. Smash a like if you want Tchouameni. I absolutely would love Tchouameni. But they say to replace Paul Pogba on his depart. Tchouameni isn't a Paul Pogba replacement. Tchouameni is getting that all-important CDM signing that we needed last summer, and in fact we needed the season before. Tchouameni should be a Matic replacement. The problem with Man United is we'll lose Pogba, we'll lose Matic, and we'll just get Tchouameni and say it's a Pogba replacement. Tchouameni is a Matic replacement, then we need to go and get a Pogba replacement. I like that Manchester United are interested in Tchouameni. However, is Tchouameni going to want to come to United? That's a different question. Tchouameni liking United posts on Twitter, that's a positive indication. We are not getting top 4. Yes, Arsenal lost. Yes, Chelsea lost. Honestly, all right, if we get top 4, I will give away £100 to 3 viewers on this channel. So if you're not subscribed and you think we're going to get top 4, you might as well subscribe because I'll give away £100 to 3 subscribers if we get top 4 because we're not. Tchouameni is a brilliant player, but will we get Tchouameni when top 4? Top 4 is not looking good for Man United. I'm thinking, are we even going to get Tchouameni? First question. Now the news coming in. The Manchester Evening News reported that dressing room sources, the all dreaded word, said that Manchester United say that Paul Pogba is effectively gone as he approaches the final 2 months he has at the club, and Paul Pogba is, the players know that Paul Pogba's gone, and Manchester United are planning for Paul Pogba to leave and are expecting Paul Pogba to leave. However, the Manchester Evening News did say, while PSG have made Paul Pogba an offer, he is trying to look at the full package. Paul Pogba has a child, obviously going to go to school in England. His wife actually has a job. Footballer's wife have a job. Miracle, But, no, that's a joke. That's me. But what I mean is, like, United and dressing room sources saying Paul Pogba's gone. United are repairing Tchouameni as a Paul Pogba replacement. However, there's always news that Paul Pogba might say, let's be real, Paul Pogba's is gone as top 4 is gone. The chances of Paul Pogba staying at United are the chances of Man United getting top 4. It's possible, but it's probably not going to happen. Let's be real. Now, talking of signings that could happen, Build. Now, Build is a weirdly reliable, unreliable source. Build, Christian Falk. I tell you what, Christian Falk takes so many L's, but Christian Falk was the first guy to confirm Sancho. Christian Falk gets a weird amount of dubs and a weird amount of L's. He's a 50-50. He's either spot on or he's completely wrong. But Build had said that RB Leipzig's Konrad Lamar has RANGNICK as an absolute advocate. Ralf Rangnick would like Manchester United to sign the midfielder who's out of contract next season. Lamar could be a very, very possible cheap signing for Manchester United. But for me, maybe we do need 2 midfielders. For me, we need 2 midfielders in the summer. Now, for me, the first midfielder we need is TCHOUMENI. That's the midfielder we need. The second midfielder we need, I think, is someone of a more advanced profile. I'd love Pedri. I'd love Bellingham. That is just not realistic in the slightest. Maybe a Kamara. Is Lamar that guy? I guess he's cheap. I guess when, if you look at Arsenal, they brought in 6 pretty average players and they've all done all right. Maybe the way Man United need to rebuild is instead of going for 2 big names like Declan Rice and Harry Kane, we go, let's go and address 5 or 6 positions, but spend between 20 and 50 million. Kamara will be free. That's one midfielder. TCHOUMENI will be 50 million. That's another midfielder. Elise from Crystal Palace. Jurrien Timber, that the centre back that could from Ajax that Ten Hag wants, that could be 20 million. This young up and coming right back. Nunes. Anthony. There's a lot of players out there, and I think for me, rather than United going for Declan Rice and Harry Kane, which are obvious choices, I'd like to see a mixture of TCHOUMENI, Kamara, Anthony, Jurrien Timber. Now, obviously, Mike Vey. Now, Mike Vey is a really reliable journalist. Mike Vey is tier 1 Ajax source. Like Mike Vey, he speaks facts. He's a really, really good journalist. He's like the Fabrizio Romano of Ajax. And Mike Vey said that Erik ten Hag would want to bring a Jurrien Timber with him to Manchester United. Now, it's been addressed that, Ten Hag would like Man United would like a striker, a CDM, and a centre-back. If Ten Hag comes to Man United, if Man United actually go and hurry up and get Ten Hag, who knows what the Glazers are going to do. If Ten Hag comes to United, it's been reported that we would go for a CDM, we would go for a young striker, and he would bring in Jurrien Timber as a centre-back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know loads about Jurrien Timber. In fact, I think I've seen him play twice. When I've seen him play twice, he's looked like a good player. I realised that he's 20 years old. He's doing a decent job. He's got pace. He would suit Ten Hag's system. Bish, bash, bosh. Let's get him. Is he the best centre-back in the world? No. But would I play him over Maguire right now? Yes. Alice, you have a Maguire agenda. Never play Maguire. No. Maguire's been crap. I don't care. Now, Maguire was better than Varane at the weekend, but Maguire's been crap this season. Diego says that over 157 people are watching, so please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football. Yes, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to my channel, it'd be absolutely amazing if you could go and click that subscribe button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer updates, and more, do subscribe. I go live every single evening on the channel, giving you all the latest Manchester United news. I normally go live around 7 p.m. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. I might be live tomorrow. I might do a 6 o'clock live tomorrow because then I could be longer and then we can do a Champions League chit chat shoot. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, it'd be brilliant if you could subscribe. And also, if you don't want to subscribe, you're like, shut up, at least hit that like button. It just shares the video, and I'm on the road to going subscribers and as well. And just said he's not seen enough from Timber, but he's rapid from what he's seen. Yeah, that's what I noticed with Timber. I haven't seen much of him, but he looked quick, and I think pace is something that we definitely need at the back. I think with the way that Ten Hag would set up Manchester United, playing a high line, fullbacks bombing forward, getting very high up, we could be exposed on the counter-attack. Maguire I don't think he would suit it. And yeah, essentially, yes. Let's let me get some good news. Kamara from Marseille at CDM is 3. I'd like Kamara and TCHOUMENI. I think we need 2 CDMs because if TCHOUMENI gets injured, we're fucked. We're back to McFred. So I think we need Kamara, TCHOUMENI, and because Kamara's 3, it doesn't really matter. And then I'd say Kamara, TCHOUMENI. I'd say Timber, just because why not? Young centre-back who would work well with Ten Hag. And then I would also probably say right winger like Anthony, Elise. I'm not opposed to Dembele either, but he's just always injured as well. Who would be your first choice right winger at Manchester United? Would it be Anthony? Would it be Elise? Would it be Dembele? Would it be someone else that I've not mentioned? I'm just intrigued to see who you guys would like at Manchester United. Gaz Elliott says, can we get 200 likes before the end of the live stream, guys? Yeah, that would be sick of you. So please do smash that like button if you have not already. We're on 138 likes. We need 60 more likes for 200 likes. Who are you rooting for in the Champions League? We've obviously got Manchester City and Atletico. Look, I fucking hate Atletico Madrid, but I do really hope that they beat Manchester City. I really do hope that Atletico Madrid beat Manchester City as much as I freaking hate them. And what's the other game? Liverpool-Benfica. Ooh, City Madrid or Liverpool-Benfica? Which one are you watching? I might watch City Madrid because then I'll be supporting Madrid. I want someone to lose. Well, then I want Liverpool to lose as well. But enough with my blabbering on all of that. I want to talk about the leaked news that came out yesterday. And if you didn't watch my video that came out yesterday, go watch my video that came out yesterday. I did a full-on 10-minute rant about United players and leaked news and how I'm just fed up with the leaked news. I did a 10-minute rant yesterday. because I do short videos. I try and do 5 live streams a week and 3 short videos a week, so 8 uploads a week on all the latest United news. Just because I like to interact with you guys, but then I just like to get straight to the point, bish bash bosh, upload a video, and all of that. But leaked news came out yesterday, and surprise, surprise, leaked news comes out the Monday after Man United drop points. Water is wet. Leaked news comes out when United drop points. Dressing room leaks. Surprise. Honestly, it's expected. Whenever we drop points, I know dressing room leaks are coming out. And the dressing room leaks are saying that, according to sources, players at Manchester United are unhappy with the lack of top-class coaching. And us fans are unhappy with the lack of top-class players. Ralf Rangnick is not a top-class coach in terms of short-term work. Ralf Rangnick is a world-class in terms of rebuilding and being a footballing mastermind. And long-term, Ralf Rangnick's a good coach, not short-term. I just think, how dare these players complain and talk shit about Ralf Rangnick when, you're not even listening to his instructions. Maybe if you listen to instructions, and maybe if you didn't give up in a game, we'd see better results. Because, when you see Man City having 92% possession and us having 8 possession in the last, 15 minutes of the Manchester derby, I go, well, Ralf Rangnick's messed up here. But I actually go, hold up. That's embarrassing for the United players. That means they're not trying. I just think, how dare you say all this about lack of top-class coaches when actually you're not a top-class player. The bare minimum Ralf Rangnick expects from the Man United players when they get on the pitch is that they're going to try their hardest, that they're going to work hard, that they're going to try their best to win the game. That's the bare minimum Ralf Rangnick expects when the players get on the pitch. And some of them don't do that. Fred might not be the best player in the world, but Fred's going to give it his all. Bruno, he might be frustrating, but Bruno's going to give it his all. There are other players at Man United where I go, are they giving their all? Are they trying? Elanga, oh my God, Elanga, he's not that good. But the reason Elanga is playing over Rashford is because with Rashford being pooped right now, at least Elanga tracks back and defends his man. But there are players at Man United that just aren't trying. And I think you're going in and criticising Ralf Rangnick and saying there's not enough top-class coaches at the club when you're not good enough to be at the club. 80% of the players at this club will probably be gone in the rebuild if it's successful, if the Glazers don't control the rebuild. And they're complaining. And the thing that infuriates me, and this is from the Manchester Evening News, and this is a good source of information. This is a really good source of information. But the Manchester Evening News came out and said that sources say some Manchester United players have stopped listening to Ralf Rangnick's instructions. Like, my head is literally like, who are you? Who the hell are you? Stopped listening to Ralf Rangnick's instructions. Like, what? Why? You're not winning loads of games. Like, yes, things aren't going amazing. Yes, things aren't going perfect under Ralf Rangnick. But who are the players who think that they can just go and, ignore Ralf Rangnick's instructions? Who are these players who think, we can ignore Ralf Rangnick's instructions? He's your manager. It doesn't matter if your manager is the Cambridge United manager. It does not matter if your manager is Pep Guardiola. As a player, the bare minimum you should do is listen to the manager's instructions, do what the manager tells you to do, and work your best. Because actually we dropped a few points in games like Middlesbrough, in games like Watford, but we played really, really well. The style of football we played was really, really well. We dropped points in about 4 games where we could have won those 4 games 4-0, but we ended up drawing all of those games. But we were playing well, and they were listening to Ralf Rangnick's instructions. And all of a sudden, the last game against Leicester, I don't think they listened to Ralf Rangnick's instructions, because the way we played against Leicester was not the way that we've been playing in the 4 or 5 games before when we were playing really, really well. It was not at all. And I sit here and I go, have they just started, for some reason, ignoring Ralf Rangnick's instructions now? Because actually, yeah, we weren't getting the points, but it was working. I could see this clear improvement. I know we were dropping points. I know Atletico Madrid was horrible, but we were the better side in that second leg versus Atletico Madrid. We deserved to go through. When we got knocked out to Middlesbrough, we were good. When we dropped points to Watford, we were good. Now, we shouldn't be dropping points in those games. But what I'm saying was, I actually saw progression under Ralf Rangnick. I saw us playing some good football and creating chances. We're actually quite nice to watch. And then all of a sudden, it's gone back to players not trying, players not listening to Ralph's instructions, dressing room leaks. Actually, when the players were listening to Ralph's instructions, I know we weren't getting the points, but it was going well. And the bare minimum any Man United player should be doing is listening to what the manager says, and when they put on that shirt, they play for the badge, they try their best. And I don't think the players are doing that. And I feel sorry for Ralf. I feel so sorry for Ralf Rangnick, because not only has Ralf Rangnick had to come into a squad that has been absolutely deoxygized for the last 3 years. Ollie's been too nice to them, let them walk on, around him. Ralf Rangnick's had to come into this toxic squad full of egos that's absolutely flattened. You know, this squad that hasn't been coached properly for at least 3 years, and Ralf Rangnick's had to actually like, I've got to get coaches in, and then he has to deal with the board and the Glazers that are saying, oh yeah, we'll let you do this, and then actually it's come out that the board don't want Ralf Rangnick to have a say in the next manager, but the board want Darren Fletcher to have a say in the next manager. What an absolute joke. Diego with a good chat here saying, if your players are not delivering silverware, they should work harder in training and on match days. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Manchester United player and you haven't won a trophy in 5 years, if you're Harry Maguire that's been relegated loads, if you're Scott McTominay like that hasn't proved himself, he hasn't won a legit proper trophy at United, like, I think Scott McTominay and Maguire aren't the ones criticising RANGNICK, but there's a lot of players at Man United that are pretty bang average that have won fuck all, and they're the ones criticising RANGNICK. And the story that United players are ignoring Ralf Rangnick's instructions, like, it absolutely infuriates me. Like, I love Manchester United, but right now, just everything about this club, I don't like. I don't like how it's taking longer and longer to choose the next manager. The fact that it's taking so long to choose the next manager, the fact that there's so many delays in choosing the next manager actually makes me feel and believe that, is this just delays? Are we just waiting for Poch? Like, every day that goes by where they say Ten Hag's most likely, but we haven't got Ten Hag, makes me sit here and wonder, oh shit, like, are we delaying it? Is this PR for Poch? You know, the players are annoying me. The football we play is boring me. I watched Crystal Palace Arsenal. I enjoyed watching football. When I watch teams that aren't Manchester United, I enjoy watching football. When I'm going to watch this Liverpool-Manchester City game, I feel like I'm going to enjoy watching football. But when I watch Manchester United, I don't enjoy watching football anymore. I watch Manchester United and I go, what is this crap? I sit on my watch-alongs and I'm bored. I don't enjoy watching Man United. The players are really unlikable. The club is at rock bottom. The coaches are awful. The board is awful. The Glazers are awful. And there's just no structure at this club. And, you know, we're going into another rebuild. And, you know, in the past when we've gone into rebuilds, I've been excited. Oh, this is a rebuild. Oh, this is a good first transfer window. I can see progression. I'm not excited for this rebuild because things might get better temporarily. But long term, every single rebuild seems to fail. We go in a cycle, appoint a manager, back him for one season, does well, gets in the top 4, doesn't back him for the following season, eventually drops off, manager sacked. Appoint a new manager, back him, stop backing him, does bad, sack. We don't fully back a manager. We don't fully get them who they want. We don't prioritise the ideal positions. We prioritise players that would bring us commercial money in over players that would bring us, you know, footballing success in. And I hate this cycle of rebuild because, cool, we could appoint Ten Hag, and I want Ten Hag. We're happy if we get Ten Hag. But if, you know, we could be sitting here in 2 years where Ten Hag has failed because we've not backed him. The club has been run like shambles. So I can't even get excited for a rebuild because every single rebuild, it gets better for a season and it gets worse again. I'm fed up of rebuild this, rebuild that. United should have gone for Conte. He's not a yes man. Look, I would have taken Conte at Man United. We didn't go for Conte. And then we gave Ollie 3 more games in which he lost 2 of them to then go and get Ralf Rangnick, who I like Ralf Rangnick, but, you know, we literally said Conte was begging for us. Conte wanted United and not Spurs. Like, Conte does not want Spurs. He wanted Man United. Conte rejected Spurs originally, and Conte sent his PR team all out to contact Di Marzio to make sure Man United knew he wanted the job. Conte wanted that Man United job. Man United did not want Conte. They thought he would cause problems. So we said, we're going to give Ollie 3 more games. We're going to give Ollie 3 more games. What did Ollie do? He lost to Manchester City and absolutely embarrassed us. You know, absolutely embarrassed us. And then what did he do? He went and lost 4-1 to Watford. 4-1 to Watford, where Harry Maguire got sent off. Scott McTominay was dreadful, the 2 players that he given favouritism to. And the ironic thing was that when we lost 4-1 to Watford, Donny van de Beek was our best player. I just think that's absolutely hilarious. But I just sit there and I go, this club is absolutely crazy. We could have got Conte. Instead, we had to watch us lose 4-1 to Watford to finally sack Ollie when we had lost 5-0 to Liverpool, you know, 2-0 to Man City, when we've been absolutely atrocious in every game. Even when we'd won points, we've been absolutely atrocious. And we had to wait that long. It was just like, no. Man City fans booing Champions League anthem tonight. Man City fans are booing the Champions League anthem because they've never won one. No. And Andrew said that Conte was ideal. We basically have a short-term squad. Conte rarely stays anywhere long. It's such a winner. Exactly. Long-term, Ralf Rangnick's brilliant. If you put Ralf Rangnick higher up and you make him long-term. But short-term, if you're thinking, one of the biggest problems at Man United right now, if you're thinking short-term, is actually the players. The players, the player powers, the issues. Conte's a manager that does not take shit from his players. those players don't respect Ralf Rangnick because he hasn't won anything crazy. The players, don't think Ralf Rangnick's good enough, and it's harder for Ralf Rangnick to get the respect of the players. When you're Conte and you've won Champions Leagues, and not Champions Leagues, but you've won Premier Leagues, Scudettos, and all of that. When you're Antonio Conte, when you've got short-term issues, when you've got issues with player power, Conte is an ideal manager from now to the end of the season because he wouldn't let the players get away with the shit that they do. Ole was too nice. Rangnick's a mix of both. Rangnick's a lot harsher than Ole. Rangnick comes out and says it how it is, but Rangnick can't get all the respect of the players because Rangnick hasn't won loads. Conte is what you need. You need a Conte, you need a Sir Alex to get that dressing room back in shape. Because one of the biggest issues is the players. You telling me that Man United squad is not good enough to get top four. That Man United squad is very capable of getting top four. That Man United squad is good enough to get top four. That Man United squad is full of little rats that don't want to listen to the manager and whine and whinge. That is the difference between why we might not be getting top four. And I think Conte would have been the manager that would potentially have nipped that in the bud and increased our chances of getting top four. Alice and all the Man U fans, stop being selfish. Ten Hag is still Ajax manager till the end of the season. You just have to wait. Yes, but what I mean by that is we can get Ten Hag now, but we wouldn't officially announce it because we wouldn't want to damage Ajax's title season. But United have had so many weeks to choose an ex-manager. If Liverpool were in our position, if City were in our position, Ten Hag would be done, bish, bash, bosh announced. And we know that it would literally be done, boom, and all of that. All three City fans booing. It says Baz. Gaz and Cedro said Pogba played great for Conte at Juventus. He did, and I'm not bothered about Pogba. I am more than happy to let Paul Pogba go. Diego says I still have a hunch your players could land fourth, but the available squad players need to step up and be counted. I reckon fourth place is between Conte, Rangnick, and Moyes. I think Spurs will get fourth. Actually, I think Arsenal will bottle it because I actually believe that Man United will beat Arsenal when we go to the Emirates. If we look at the Premier League, though, let's look at the Premier League table here. And we do look at the Premier League table here, you can see that obviously Spurs are in fourth right now. Arsenal have a game in hand. But actually, look, United are mudded. I think we'll finish sixth. I think we'll get Europa League unless obviously Palace win the thing. But actually, if you look at Arsenal, and you look at Arsenal's games coming up. Now, Brighton's a tough game. I think Arsenal will draw to Brighton. I think Arsenal will beat Southampton. I think Arsenal will lose to Chelsea. So they're on 4 points. I think they'll lose to us. I think that they'll lose to West Ham. I think they'll beat Leeds, which puts them 4-7. I think they'll draw to Spurs, that puts them on 8. I think Newcastle will give them a draw, and I think they'll beat Everton. So I don't think, if you look at that, you look at Arsenal's coming up fixtures. Brighton, that's not a guaranteed win. Southampton's always a tough game. Chelsea's not a guaranteed win. United's not a guaranteed win. West Ham isn't a guaranteed win. Spurs isn't a guaranteed win. And Newcastle quite good. Everton and Leicester and Arsenal lost to Everton are the only two teams that I think, I'm pretty sure Arsenal would beat them. I don't think we're going to finish above Arsenal because you look at Manchester United's games coming up. Everton, we should beat them. We never do. Everton seems to be a bogey club. Norwich should be a guaranteed win. You never know with United. Liverpool is a loss. I think we'll beat Arsenal. I think we'll beat Brentford. Brighton will give us a game, but we do normally beat Brighton. Chelsea, that we don't normally lose to Chelsea. Palace, I don't want to play Palace. I don't want to play Liverpool. I don't think we're going to beat them. And then we also got the pre-season fixtures. I will do watch-alongs for the pre-season games, by the way, guys. But let's go back to full screen. I will do watch-alongs for pre-season games. What I will say is, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do click that subscribe button. It'd be really, really appreciated if you could go and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And, of course, share the video and all of that bish bash boss. We're on 31,454 subscribers. We have 46 subscribers away from 31.5k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, it'd be appreciated if you could, because I go live every single evening talking about Manchester United news and all of that. So please do subscribe to stay up to date on United news. I also do watch-alongs to every Man United game, match reactions, and all of that. I am going to go and watch the Champions League game in just a second. I am overrunning because I did start the live stream late. Man United going to Australia for pre-season. You know what? I want to go to Australia and follow United on pre-season. We're on 156 likes. Can we get to 200 likes? 44 likes from 200 likes. If you've not hit that like button, please do. It'd be awesome if you could. As Gaz says, only 40 likes needed for 200 likes. And Preston said United is guaranteed win. No way this team gets anything at the Emirates. I think United will beat Arsenal. I just have a hunch. I actually have a hunch we'll beat Arsenal. I don't know why. People knowing me, this is going to get clipped. We're going to go back. Knowing me, we're going to get battered 5-0 to Arsenal, and there's going to be loads of clips saying, "Oh, I have a hunch we'll beat Arsenal." You guys will beat Arsenal. I watched them last night. Trust me, my prediction will be 1-3. I mean, Crystal Palace were brilliant. Patrick Vieira's really surprised me. I was sceptical about Patrick Vieira, but he's doing wonders. I did think that Palace had a good underrated transfer window. I think that they got some good players in, which made me think that they weren't going to do awful. But I think Crystal Palace have been, really, really good. I think Gallagher's looking like a baller. Get him in that England squad, eh? Gallagher, Bellingham, Rice would be my midfield three. Get the youth in and all of that. Andrew says, I want Champions League, but we don't deserve it. If Man United managed to scrounge it out and get Champions League football, it would be an absolute miracle. Because United, look, I want us to get Champions League, like Andrew said. I really want us to get Champions League. But if we do get Champions League football, it's a robbery because Spurs and Arsenal have been better than us this season. If United somehow produce a miracle and get Champions League football, I'm absolutely all for it. But, something tells me, guys, that is not going to happen. You know what I mean? Maybe Ronaldo will score 10 goals in the remaining fixtures. I predict Ronaldo. We need Ronaldo back to win some goals. Andrew says our players have no intensity anymore. It's like a testimonial level late. Yeah, United are just honestly, and yeah. Sorry, I just misread a chat there. I didn't want to read that chat because I thought it was something that it didn't say, but then I realized it's not. That does not make sense. But guys, look, I'm going to wrap up the live stream in 1 minute. So make sure you smash a like. Any last questions in, do get them in down below before I wrap up the live stream. But to conclude the news and all of that, Ten Hag is still leading the race. Ten Hag is still the favourite. However, United are waiting on Pochettino. PSG are now more than happy to let Pochettino go. PSG almost kind of want to get rid of Pochettino, which, I think is a negative. I think if you're Man United and you realise a team like PSG will happily give you Poch, I think that says all you need to know about Poch. That maybe we shouldn't be going for Poch. If PSG are so happy to offload Poch to us, if PSG are going to United, have Poch take him. If I'm Man United, I'm going, well, they're a bit keen to give us Poch. His compensation was 12 million. Now PSG is saying, oh, we can have Poch for free, bish, bash, bosh. I'm thinking, well, I don't like how keen they are for us to have Pochettino. I don't like it one bit. So I go for Ten Hag. The fact that managers are going for Ten Hag, the fact that managers are going for Ten Hag, and the fact that everyone wants to get rid of Pochettino says it all, which means United will probably want Pochettino and all of that, which, is absolutely embarrassing. As well. Steve says he thinks Atletico will get a 1-1 draw versus City. Yeah, actually, guys, let me know your Champions League score predictions down below. As Diego says, do put that notification bell on so you always do know when I am live. And Sanjay says, I don't want City to win the league. I don't want City to win the league, but I'd rather Man City win the league than Liverpool. For me, I don't really care about Man City because they don't have that many fans. Whereas Liverpool, I know a lot of Liverpool fans, they're really annoying. We have a bigger rivalry with Liverpool. I think if Liverpool win the league, they go equal with us on Premier League trophy, not league trophies. I'd rather Man City win the league than Liverpool. However, when it comes to the Champions League, as much as I think Liverpool are a bigger rival than City and I don't like Liverpool and Liverpool fans are more annoying, I'd rather Liverpool win the Champions League than City because I like bantering City about not having a Champions League. So for me, it will be Liverpool Champions League, City Premier League. If the fact that we're even thinking that is disgusting. United are out of everything. United are mudded, United are fucked, and we're sitting there going, well, which one are we going to give the Champions League and which one are we going to give the Premier League out of our two biggest rivals? The state of this club, we are the worst club in the world to support at the moment because our two biggest rivals are could get a treble. Arsenal, who are our third biggest rival, are going to get top four and just be annoying on Twitter. We've bottled a season where we had expectations for. A lot of our best players are leaving. Everything about the season's been horrific, and then the players are unbearable, complaining dressing room leaks, and then the owners and the Glazers is just unbearable. This is honestly, it's just the worst season ever as well. Liverpool to win the quad over City winning UCL. I think Liverpool will win 2 trophies this season, not 4. If I were going to be honest with you, Steve says I think 2-0 Liverpool and Chelsea beat Madrid 2-1 and Bayern beat Villarreal 5-0. Good predictions there. I want Atleti to win, although I absolutely hate Atletico Madrid as well. But guys, please do hit that like button if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. please subscribe as well. I will be live tomorrow night with some more Ten Hag updates. I think I'll go live 6 or 6:30 tomorrow, so we get a bit more time in because I've overrun a bit and we've missed the first 10 minutes of the Champions League. I think I am going to watch the Liverpool game. I don't know. Should I watch Liverpool or City game? Before I leave, put in the chat, Liverpool or City game. What's going to be more interesting to watch? But all I'm saying is, if you're not subscribed, it would be appreciated if you do subscribe. But we'll do a watch along for Manchester United versus Everton as well this week. I will be live tomorrow night and all of that. Bish bash bosh. Smash your like, smash your subscribe. Thank you everybody for tuning in to today's live stream, getting involved in the chat. Steve said I should watch the City game. Tom says I should watch the City game. I think the City game is the bigger game. No disrespect to Benfica, but Benfica. I feel like the City game will be more interesting. But I think, you know what? The only tie that really excites me is Chelsea, Real Madrid. City, Atleti, you know, relevant club, boring Atleti. Liverpool, Benfica. Benfica's, you know, a bit of relevant club. The only draw that actually proper excites me is Chelsea, Real Madrid. I will be watching Chelsea, Real Madrid tomorrow without a doubt. I think that will be interesting. But Liverpool more entertaining. But I think the City game, I think Liverpool, you expect them to win. I think if Benfica go 1-0 up, I would swap over to the Liverpool game. I think maybe if there's a goal in the game, I'd swap over. But, you know, I think I'll go and watch the Manchester City game now. I might do a video review on it on my second channel. So if you're not subscribed to my second channel, the one with Alice, there is a link down below. Or just search on YouTube, the one with Alice. And my second channel will come up where I do Champions League reviews. Unfortunately, I can't do Champions League reviews on Man United in there because we got knocked out to Atletico. Alice, don't even. I love Atleti to knock out City because City. Do you know what was funny when we I know I'm blabbering. I meant to end the live stream a minute ago, but when we lost the Europa League, City fans were bantering us. Oh, United lost the Europa League, City fans were bantering us. When we lost to Atletico Madrid, City fans are bantering us. So I'm hoping that City get a little bit of reverse karma. So, you know, they banter us for losing the Europa League final. They lose Champions League final. They banter us for losing to Atletico Madrid. I hope it backfires on City, and I hope Manchester City go out there and go and lose to Atletico Madrid. I think it would absolutely be hilarious. But yes, guys, I am finally ending the live stream after all that blabbering. Do make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed to the channel. I will be back tomorrow night at 6:30 with some more news and all of that, and I will be doing a watch along over the weekend as well. So like, subscribe, share. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Bish bash boss. See you then. See you tomorrow.